taught the nurses at Sparrow Hospital how to handle an emergency room because I had had all that training.
Well, that's great.
And in 1939, the Red Cross in Hingham County had sent me to National Red Cross School, where I had a lot of special training in all these things. In fact, that was kind of funny, because when I got there, you were supposed to sign up for what class you were to take. It was held at a lake out close to Hastings, Michigan. And you were to sign up for what you were there to get your special training in, because they were changing the books somewhat on some of the different things they were doing. And so when I signed up, when they signed me up, I was signed up for everything they gave. I was signed up for the first aid, for the advanced and emergency work, for the swimming, diving, and life-saving, and for canoes, how to handle a canoe and rescue people. I was signed up for everything they gave. So they told me they'd have to make me a special schedule. I had to begin at 5 o'clock in the morning on a special group on part of the training. I was busy all day long. And for the swimming and diving and life-saving, because of all the other classes I was taking, there was no chance of getting in a class with women. So I was the only woman in a class of men.
Oh, wow.
And I thought they probably wouldn't like that, but they didn't seem to mind it at all. And they thought I might have a problem because the men would be stronger and I might have a trouble breaking the noose if they grabbed me in the water like they would do if they were drowning or something or going under. But I didn't have any problem with that. In fact, I won a canoe race, and it wasn't a regular canoe race. It was one where you jumped, you stood with your feet on the back edges of at the point of the canoe, to the back of it, and then you jumped up in the air, left the canoe, come back down on those little ridges with your feet, and that pushed the canoe along in the water.
Wow.
My word. And so the men were having this canoe race for a special thing they did at the end where people come in to watch. And I wasn't going to do the canoe race, and they told me yes, I was. So I raced the canoes with them. When the men come down on them, a lot of them fell off early. They wouldn't hit the thing right. There was 3 left when we got close to the end. And pretty soon, 2 of them fell off. And before we got right to the end, the 3rd one fell off, and I took my canoe over the finish line.
Wow, you won.
And I won the race.
Well, that's worth remembering.
Wow.
That's neat.
A lot of things, yeah.
Yeah. Aunt Thelma, I know you've been very active with the Red Cross, and you've had quite a career with the Red Cross, and I'd like you to tell us a little bit about that.
Well, when I first began was way back when I was a little Girl Scout, and I had, in junior high school in the 7th grade, the Red Cross used to come and teach, but you had to stay after school to take the class because it wasn't a part of your schoolwork. So I stayed after school, and I took a class in first aid. Then I took a class in advanced first aid. I took a class in, they had a big pool there, so I took a class in swimming and diving and in life-saving. And I passed all of those. And so when the Girl Scouts would go to camp every summer, I was the one that had to do their first aid if needed. And also they couldn't go swimming or go in a canoe unless I was with them. So that's how I started it. But then a little later, when I got after I was about 16 or so, I think I could start, or maybe it was 18, I could start teaching. So I taught first aid classes, and I taught swimming and diving and life-saving classes from way back then. And I did that for about 45 years, and even had a chance to save one lady out of Lake Michigan.
Wow.
Which was good. I was glad I was there in the lake with her. And then I know of some others that were saved because training they'd had, which I was glad for.
Right.
And then after I taught for about 45 years, I also started running bloodmobiles. And the doctor's wife over in Saranac wanted to have a bloodmobile started for Saranac. That way you should have Clarksville with it, because both were too small for one bloodmobile to be. And she wanted me to help her start them. So, about 40 years ago or so, I helped her, and we started having bloodmobiles over in Saranac, for Saranac and Clarksville together, and in June we'd had the one in would meet in Clarksville. So I've done that for all these years also. In fact, I was just honored last Monday for it.
These are pictures of Aunt Thelma's board. She was recently honored for being the area's longest Red Cross volunteer, and they had these boards up in the place where she was honored. In this picture, she was quite a bit younger. She's the person, the second from the right. I'll try to zoom in on this a little bit. I'm not very good with this camera, but she's the second from the right in the back row. In this one, I think she's the second from the right in the front row in this picture. And I have this picture at home, too. And I like this one because she's at the lake. This is her home at the lake. It's a nice picture. Okay, this was the other board that was at the place that was honoring Aunt Thelma. Let's see, here we go. In this one, she was in a play